Hi guys. In today's video we will pick up where we left off in the previous one. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave the link up here so you can see it first. As you will remember, in this series of videos we are looking at the differences between the client side and the server side, and classifying the different scripts that we find in ServiceNow depending on whether they are executed on one side or the other. In the previous video, we already saw the main differences, which are what I show you on the screen. And we begin to see some of the main scripts left to see these here. Remember that we will show the script that we are going to see. We will take a few seconds to think about which side they belong to. And then we will give a short description as well as the main uses they have within ServiceNow. So without further ado, let's begin. Today's first one will be one of my favorites. We are talking about the background script. Could you tell which side it belongs to? You're sure? Let's see it. A background script is a script that we can execute on the server side without having to save any records to do so. It is purely a JavaScript executor in which we can launch any type of code to be executed on the server side. We will also have the option to roll back to undo the changes we have made. It can be very useful for the following. Test small scripts and features. We can test our code without having to save any records, which will be very convenient for us when it comes to knowing if a certain part of the code works before integrating it into a larger code, as well as knowing if in a larger code that a specific part is failing. A part is to blame for this failure or not. Perform small fixes. We may release code to change incorrect information in certain records. Personally, I do not recommend doing it through background script since the code we are executing may be lost. So it is much more convenient to execute this type of fix with another type of script that we will see later. Call script includes functions or force feature triggers. We can use the background script as a specific trigger for a certain code that may have been stopped or that has not been executed due to a failure or a system crash. The next type of script that we will see will be workflow scripts. Let's see where they run from. Will you have answered correctly? Let's see it. Scripts executed from both the workflow editor and the workflow designer will always be executed on the server side. With these scripts we can take our workflows to the next level, helping us perform tasks that we could not perform with just the actions inside the box. Some of the most common uses that we find are the following. Create, edit, or delete records. We can do any operation on the records we want, incorporating it into the part of the flow we need. Launch events. And trigger script includes functions. The next type of script that we are going to see is perhaps one of the least used currently within ServiceNow. But it is actually one of the most useful and can help us the most as developers. I'm talking about the UI script. But before moving on to see what it is about, where would you say they are executed? As you may have deduced, it does this on the client side. We can use a UI script to store functions and scripts, with the aim of being used on the client side from any other script that also runs on the client side. Throughout the videos that we are going to upload to the channel we will see the large number of uses that these types of script have. Some of them are the following. Unify highly repeated functionalities in the same script. Group related functionalities in the same record. Create triggers for handling events in the DOM. HTML modification. Insertion of JavaScript libraries in ServiceNow. Only the last two remain. The first of them are the script actions. Where would you say they are executed? An script action is used to perform the tasks we want on the server side, triggered through an event. They are very useful when executing different scripts simultaneously when a certain event happens. But we do not want to call each of the scripts from all the places where it is launched. So we will simply launch this event and the codes we want will be executed. Apart from this, other very typical uses of this type of scripts are the following: creation, modification or deletion of records, creation of notifications, or error handling. The last type of script that we will see will be the fix script. Can you guess where it runs? A fix script is server-side code. It is a script that can be launched at any time, having to previously save the record, and by definition is oriented towards execution after installing an application or after committing an update set. But of course, they can be used to launch any code at any time. And it is the type of script that we talked about in the background script part to make multiple corrections in several records in a table. The main uses of fix scripts are the following: code execution on demand, in a more controlled way than a background script. Code execution after installing an application. Execute code to carry out small fixes. And this is how the classification of objects within ServiceNow would finally look like. I recommend that you save this table to be clear about where each object is executed, since it can be very useful in the future. In the next videos we will see how to configure each of them and doing practical exercises with common day-to-day problems. Nothing more for today. If you liked it, please share and leave your like. If you want us to make a specific video, do not hesitate to leave your suggestion in the comments box. And we will see you in more videos at ServiceNow Pro Solutions.